So here we have landed on our landing page, and we can see that the pop-up is there. We've got the first few messages saying, "Hi, I'm Nathan, how can I assist you today?" And I can just come here so that the agent can start to provide value. Ask, "I would like a workout plan because this is for a gym." "Hey, I'd love to help you with that. First things first, how active would you say you are?" Not active, lightly active, or very active. We're just gonna go ahead and say we are not active at the moment. Got it, not active. How much time do you usually have for a workout session? We'll say we have maybe 45 minutes. What kind of equipment do you prefer to use? And it's giving, notice how it's giving examples, so like dumbbells, that sort of stuff. I'll say I would like basic equipment. And when it's asking for the main goal, what weight loss, strength, flexibility, or endurance, we'll just say we're looking for endurance. Now it's just asking for our name and email, so we can send the personalized email to us, and we can just go ahead and give it our first name with the email. And what it's doing now is it's actually crafting the personalized email. So it'll be using this exact scenario right now. We can see that it's thinking, personalizing it, and we'll see in a second that it will this main agent here will be using the given tools over here to then update our CRM and then send us the Gmail once it's done. And if we go into our CRM here, we can see that we've got our first name that we fed, the workout notes, so the answers that I gave it, and then our email is saved over here. And now if we go to our email, we have got an email titled 45-minute endurance workout with basic equipment. And this is all the workout plan that we've that the agent has provided us with some nutrition tips at the end. It's signed off with the One Fitness team, which is this example gym. And if we go back to this chat node here, we can see if you'd like to get started with us with this plan right away, you can book your session here. And then obviously this is a link that takes us to a booking page. If your website lacks some sort of intelligent way like this to generate leads on the spot, then you're missing out. I've made dozens of all sorts of different AI sales agents and found that website agents like this can be one of the most effective ways of generating opportunities. So today I'll show you how I built a simple website chatbot that emails personalized information to interested leads, captures the information, and then updates the CRM so that by the end, you can do the same. I built this on n8n using a main agent that, besides having an email as a tool, it also has a personalized LLM step as another tool to actually create the personalized workout, and then it updates the Airtable using a separate tool which will act as our CRM. And all this has been templated and available to you for free. So let's get started. Okay, great. So coming up on this n8n workflow here, the first thing that you may notice is that this is an active workflow. Now, if you're not familiar with n8n, it has a workflow function that you can click test step and then run the full automation once so that you can see and debug the exact steps that the agent took. But in this very case, I wanted the conversation to be very natural and I wouldn't have to click test workflow every single time I sent a message. So that's why the button is toggled as active over here. So the trigger that I'm using here is an open chat node. And within the open chat, we can see that we have the hosted chat and then the embedded chat. So what I used here is an embedded chat that you can see that every time I actually toggle this, we get a link with the instructions to actually embed this into any website. And I'll show you how to do that right now. What we do is a CDN script, which we are going to paste into a website builder, and the only alteration that we make from this documentation here is the webhook URL, which we can easily find by going to n8n and clicking on the URL field here. So I actually built my one here on Lovable just to make it really easy, but I'll also show you how to make it inside a website builder. And you do that by copying this. You would go into, I've got Squarespace as an example, but all of these website builders are advanced enough for you to actually edit this without needing to program anything or not actually configure too many things at once. So I'm going to click Pages here and then click Home Settings. In this page here, we go to Advanced, and then we can add a code step, which again, the only thing we change from here is the production URL, which we can gather from over here. Once we've copied that, we can then paste it in here. Make sure we have these quotations mark around the URL, otherwise this won't be valid. Once we save that, you can see that it populates the bottom right corner of my screen. And then if you just wait a second, we can type it in and talk to it just as though it were a live agent on your website. So that's pretty easy. Just a quick one if you're enjoying the video so far. Today I'm only showing you the 20% of the solution that generates 80% of the success, meaning there are several things that I could add to it to make it even better. So if you are watching this video and you'd like a more advanced version of this, or perhaps more adapted to your use case, then you can contact me directly by using the booking link in the description. Cool, so now moving on, I'm going to show you first the main agent and the prompt and the model that it configures, followed by the two other pillars. So the model is one of the pillars, two other pillars being the memory and the tools, which is this bunch of functions that we will use to create these different capabilities for the agent. And starting with the main one, going over here and clicking on the agent box, we have a user message and a system message. So firstly, what the system message is it's sort of the instructions or guardrails that we provide to the agent to modify its behavior specific to the situation that we want it to be engaging with. So in this case, this is always going to be the longer prompt, and the user message that is followed up after that is the specific data that it is meant to be dealing with. So if you have a look at this prompt right here, in the role section, I say you are an intelligent helper for One Fitness who has a knack for providing helpful information and acquiring lead information. You speak much like a human using slang like I mean, I don't know, lol. So when I was talking to it in this example here, we actually got a very engaging and conversational one rather than not, like robotic sort of voice sort of thing. Within this context, we provide a bit of context as to like what its purpose is. And in this, I say that the conversation is a lead that has landed on the landing page looking for help to find out if One Fitness matches their workout requirements and their current goals as well. So in saying that, we give it a task saying your job is to help the user pick a personalized plan as per the workout and nutrition information that we have. So I want to make this specific to what we provide and the features that we have as a gym as well. And this is information that I feed into one of the tools, which I'll show you later on. But just for context over here, I say that not to make anything up, this has to be specific to what we provide at a certain degree as well. So then once it's done that, it sends the personalized plan to the lead via email and then updates the CRM with the lead information that we've just gathered. The specifics header is a subheader. You can see that by the two hashtags here. And I followed that up with the message saying you should think about these step by step. And that is followed up by specifics, around crocodile mouths. What that is telling the AI specifically when it should be expecting me to talk about the specifics. So this is just a comment about the specifics, but the actual information about the specifics is within this tag here and this tag here with the slash at the end to close it off. So in between, you'll see that this is exactly what it does step by step as I go through it. So firstly, it asks the lead how active they are. Then it follows up about how their availability looks per workout, so 50 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, etc. Asking about their equipment preference is what comes next, so none, basic, or full gym. And then the agent is instructed to ask about the current goal, either weight loss, strength, or flexibility, or endurance. And then once all of that is done, it is instructed to ask them for their name and email to send the information. So it is crucial actually that I said this message, because if it said this at the very start, it wouldn't make very much sense. The agent should first look at personalizing everything, gathering all the information, and then look at actually sending the information by acquiring the name and email. And then I close that off, as I said, with that closing tag as well. And following on, we do the exact same thing in the tools section, saying these tools should be used in order. So these are the functions, the capabilities that we're giving to the AI to actually process these different commands. So sending the email, uploading the CRM and whatnot, and they're used in order. So make plan is the tool that is responsible for creating the personalized plan. Sending the email is responsible for actually sending the personalized email with the workout plan. And then thirdly, it updates the CRM. And that's what the tool is used for there. I close it off with the tool section. And then we finish this prompt off. It's a very simple prompt, but it's got all like the best practices that it needs to actually function properly. And then the notes section, we are just reiterating what we've already said and also making comments about things to avoid. So you'll see here, I won't go into too much detail, but I've said some things that reiterate and that also avoid certain behaviors. So I said, use simple language like a human, which reiterates that first message in the role section. And I said, avoid lengthy answers/questions. Take it one step at a time. I say always use tools. One cool one here is this one. So before signing off, say if you'd like to get started with us using this plan right away, book your appointment session here, and then I give it the link, which is exactly what we are given in this case over here to finalize the conversation. And you get the point. So these are the structure. This is the structure that I gave it in the prompt, in the system prompt, and then we follow that up with the actual user message. So this is the dynamic information, the live data that the agent is going to be treated with, so that it can act upon that system prompt and behave accordingly. And that is what the value of this JSON chat input is going to be. So whatever we said prior in the actual chat box will be sent over there for the AI to deal with. And it does so using this model here. So this is the first pillar of the agent, which is the model part. And we are using a 4.1 mini model from OpenAI. This is really good. It's fast, it's quality. We don't sacrifice much intelligence through this, and it is also cheap. So for this particular use case, I chose that one. So that is the model aspect of it. Then we have the simple memory node, and all that this is a box to store information about the particular user that it is talking to. If I didn't have this simple memory block, every single message that I would send to it would be as though it was my first message talking to this agent. So the first time talking to an agent. Obviously, we don't want that. We want it to store some context every single time it is talking to the same user. And so I made the simple memory node. It is not best case. We would probably make a custom one using Supabase if this was production. That's a whole different thing. But all that you need to know is this is a native thing within n8n that you can store information about specific conversations, and then the context window is simply the iterations in between the user and the agent in that conversation that the agent can actually have access to within the conversation. So if it goes anywhere past this, it starts to lose context from the very first messages that get lost up top. Now that we've actually gone through those, we can then talk about these particular tools here. So the email function, the email tool, I should say, is very easy to be connected. We can just create a new credential, wait for this to load, and then we can sign in with Google. That's all we need to do. From there, we can start giving n8n access to send emails on our behalf. Once you've done that, you can then describe the particular tool manually. So notice how this description field reflects directly to what we were saying in the original prompt. Again, reiterating this functionality to the AI so it uses it consistently. So we said here, use this tool to send a personalized email. We can map the fields here as message, send, and then this here, the subject, and then the message are all dynamic variables that we give power to the AI to actually fill out for this particular use case. And you'll see this is a constant thing that we do for our other tools as well. The way we actually get the personalized workout plan in the first place is by triggering another workflow, which is this workflow right here, which has a when executed by another workflow trigger. When I've made this workflow, I can actually go into the main agent and then pick out a whole bunch of automations that the agent can trigger and begin so that we can arrange the data in a certain way and send it back to the main agent to do something else with it. So in this case, we are making the personalized workout plan, sending it back to the main agent, and then that is being inputted into the actual email. So by going into this node here, so the trigger, and configuring this JSON here, all that we're doing is we're telling it what fields to expect. You can see here, this is actually example data that I fed to the agent, and all that we're doing is we are telling the main agent what fields to expect. Once we've saved that, then these fields arranged for us to actually map again as automatic by the AI to define. So the activity level, this can be from anywhere from not active to completely active. No matter what the value is, we are able to send that value to this trigger, which then initiates this AI step here. Once again, we are using a 4.1 mini. The prompt is a user message and system message again. You can see a pattern here now. Role is that you are a personal trainer who has a knack for creating personalized plans. We say create a personalized plan given the user containing all information about workout and nutrition based on what we have available. So again, going back a little bit, I was talking about the features that we have available. This is where I reference it, and I say I give this AI kind of guardrails to stay between when it actually makes that personalized workout. In the specifics, that's exactly what I say, and I say to create the plan using a nice structure. Over here, I give it an example workout. So I say, to title it accordingly to the time and the equipment and the goal for the particular user experience. Here's an example of it. So 30-minute bodyweight strength for beginners. Here's the gym info. I'm not going to go too much into this. This is just for you to see that the AI can adhere to the guardrails that you give it. Once again, I'm saying these are the requirements, and then following that up with an HTML tag to make it clear that these are the requirements that I want. So this applies to whatever use case. These are just the guardrails for it to actually create the content that I want according to the features that I have. This prompt is a lot simpler than the one before, but it still works. The user message, again, is the live data that we are giving it. Here are the user's requirements, so the activity level, the workout duration. These are all mapped according to the particular input from the AI agent, so the main agent. And once we gather all of this information up here, we're then sending the email and then updating the CRM, which is the final part. Obviously, we can connect our Airtable by creating new credential, and then this access token, by clicking Build a Hub over here, we can create a new token, name it whatever we like, add the scopes. These are always going to be data records read, data records write, and schema bases read. And then we can give it access to the particular base that we are referencing, create the token. That output is going to be the input of this, which will give us then access to, again, the fields that we've just mapped over here will be displayed here. So you can start to see a pattern across these different connections. I choose exactly the table that I'm talking about from the list based on the access that I gave within the token credentials. And then we are mapping these automatically for the agent to pick out as well. And this is why we get an output like this, talking about the specific use case of this user, and then ultimately the email as well for us to do something with later on as well. So just to bring this home, we can then come back to this and then tick off the email that we've connected, the personalized plan LLM, as well as the specific CRM that we are using as well, which by the way can be any CRM of your choosing. I'm using Airtable because it's very basic for this tutorial, but you can include HubSpot, Pipedrive, you get the point. So now with the understanding that you have about these lead generation chatbots, you can now download the resources that I provide to you for free and alter them to your specific need. If you are in search for a more advanced version of this, maybe the chatbot would need voice capabilities, or it would also access different resources or different information using different tools, then you can contact me directly to talk about this using the booking link in the description. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.